Imagine that you suddenly find yourself in a prison, and it is not an ordinary prison. It is a prison consisting of floors on top of each other, and it descends to you from a table. She has food of all pleasure and medicine. But if you were not in the high floors and were completely below, it is possible that no food will reach you at all. In your opinion, at that time, what can you do and what can happen in this prison? There are other people below you who may not eat. This is what we will see in today's summary. The film begins in a Spanish prison, and before we get into the events of the film, we must get to know this prison a little, my friend. This prison is good. Its name is ThePlatform prison, and it is a very large building divided into many floors, usually exceeding 300 floors, and in each floor there is a hole in the middle. This hole, sir, is supposed to have a food platform, and the platform starts encroaching on the floors, in order from the first round from the top to the last round, which is usually after the round 300. This is supposed to mean that this platform is filled with enough food for prisoners in all floors from beginning to end. But because there is no fair distribution of food, of course those in the upper floors eat more people, and those in the upper floors, the average, eat only less than the upper floors. But those in the lower floors or classes almost do not reach them any food. Unfortunately, this is the prison system in short. Before we get into the events of our movie, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Make any comment like this in the middle. Any comment. Change anything, comment like this. I will be satisfied, so let's go to the movie. The movie starts in this prison, and we are on the 48th floor, and we see a prisoner named Goring waking up from sleeping on this floor, and we know that this is his first day in prison on the platform, and I find Goring that his roommate is an old man like this in the house. Goring knew him, and he knew that his name was Tarmajasi. In short, because his name is very difficult, we will say Tarma. The important thing is that Tarma is clearly a crazy and abnormal person and starts talking to Goring, and they know that they are currently on the floor 48. They spend a whole month in this role, but they are reassured that this role will lead them to food. Very good. And therefore he may consider himself lucky to be healthy in this role until next month. Like every month, their role changes, and it may remain in the lower role that does not receive any food, or in the upper role only during Tarma was not talking. He would go down to the food platform, and between C and Tarma, he would go out and eat. And he would say to Goring, eat, because the platform, it only comes down once a day. Either he eats or he stays hungry all day long, but Goring, my friend, is very disgusted because this food is literally, there were 47 floors before it, and each floor had approximately 2 people, meaning more than 90 people ate. This is normal, Goring knows. But Tarma knows that in the coming days he will not know at all when he sees the woe. The important thing is that Goring finds a healthy apple on the platform, so he takes it so that it remains, he eats it later. But after a while, the platform moves from their floor to the floor below it. And at this moment, Goring begins to feel that the temperature in the place is getting very high, so the tram is about the reason. So they sold the tram because the food is theirs as long as the platform is on their floor and it hasn't left yet. But they cannot keep any food at all, and because he kept the apple, the temperature will continue to rise until they die from the heat, or it will continue to decrease until they don't die from freezing, of course. Goring is terrified, so he takes out an apple and throws it into the hole. The temperature returns to normal again after that. This happened. Goring sits with Tarma, and they find out that he entered prison of his own free will because he made an agreement with the prison administration to serve him 6 full months, and in return, he will get a diploma. They know that Goring is here before he goes to prison. He knew that he could take only one thing with him to prison, and he chose to take a book. After that, he asked Goring Tarma why he went to prison here. He took what with him while he was inside, but Tarma refused to tell Hani that one day she would go down to the food stand again. Mutad knew that Goring was eating, even though Tarma preferred to advise him that he was eating, but he did not do that. Then he asked Tarma again why he went to prison, so Tarma decided to tell him. They found out that one day he saw an advertisement on TV for a certain company advertising an elderly man knives that will make all your knives strong and sharp. So he liked this ad very much and bought this old man a day later. He saw an advertisement from the same company selling a knife that did not need an elderly person. Because it made me old, it's the same after every use, and it's really crazy because it's still the buyer of the old thigh. The TV is now thrown out the window, and by chance an illegal immigrant was passing. By and the TV came on his brain, he died at that time. Of course, when he was arrested, he told them his story. Music, not music. The government is the knife that the media was talking about because he bought it the next day. Goring and Tama were sitting in their normal floor, and suddenly they found someone like this falling into the hole. So Goring went crazy and asked Tama. So they sold Tama. Surely someone committed suicide in the upper rolls, and now Goring, my friend, will go crazy that this man committed suicide and all the people in all the roles they watched and no one did anything at all. This was normal. After that, he asked Goring Tama, what is the least healthy floor in it before that? So they sold Tama that last month he was healthy and found himself on the 182nd floor and did not receive any food. At that time in this role, they asked Goring, is there anyone who was imprisoned with you in this role, so sell a term? If there is anyone with him, I am afraid. Goring knows that you must have killed him to eat him. Anyway, after a while you will go down to the platform. There is currently a girl sitting on the platform, so he is not surprised at all by her, and Goring knows that this girl's name is Miharu and that she is all a month later. She goes down to the platform to look for her daughter, who says that she is in prison here and imprisoned. And they also know that Miharu is here every month when her place changes and she sits in a place where someone is with her. She kills her colleague who is with her, and most likely this person committed suicide a while ago. Miharu is the one who killed him. After a while, the platform moved to the floor below, and on it Miharu and the prisoners in the floors. After that, they try to assault her. So Goring keeps cursing them and asking them to stay away from her. But no one listens to him after a while. Miharu is the one who, by the way, you can get rid of them all and go back to the platform normally. Sir days pass by Goring in prison, and day after day he gets closer to Tama and they become friends. By the way, one day before they went to sleep, Tama Goring knew that today was the last day of the month, so she put Homo in prison with a narcotic gas and woke him up. After that, they find themselves in a completely different role than theirs. Tama Goring says that he prays to God that they wake up in a loft for some reason. There are no problems between them, but they both sleep, and the next day Goring wakes up and finds himself tied up. And here he comes to Tama, and they know that they woke up on the 171st floor, so they threw up before Goring and tied him up like this so he could eat from it. Hada hada. Who does not have any food will reach them here at all, and Tama Goring promises that he will not kill him, but rather prefers to cut as much salt as he can for a long time. The month is because he prefers to live the rest of the month and not die. But he finishes his speech and stays away from Goring, who prefers to scream in his terror while he is not. I know what this crazy person will do to him. And you keep adjusting the days, my friend. And every day you come down the platform, but there is no food on it. But despite that, Tama prefers to endure for a few days and is not satisfied. He eats from Goring because he loves it. But when a week passes, my friend, he will be in pain. Very much so. He brought his knife and went to the Gorn. He started cutting a piece of his leg like this in order to eat from it. And he actually cut a small nut from his leg, but before he eats it, it reaches the platform. And although the platform does not have food on it as usual, it does have Miharu on it, which is the first thing that remains when you see this scene. You go to Tama and hit him on the head with a stick. Then you bring a knife and look at his neck. Then you go to Loring and untie him. Goring is very angry and crazy from Tama, Beirut, and he keeps hitting him more than once. After what happened, she starts cutting off her skills in Tama and gives Goring so that he can eat again because he has to, and is trying now. Goring said that he talks to Miharu and asks her about her son, whom she is looking for in this prison. But Miharu does not answer him at all. She talks and doesn't say anything. The next day when she comes to the platform, Miharu comes down to her. It's completely normal, and Goring remains alone with his wife Tama. And of course he is forced to eat from it every day, and therefore he prefers to imagine Tama and prefers Tama, tells him that he is exactly like him and is no different from him in anything he does. This indicates that he is currently eating from it, just as Tama used to do. Exactly, and of course all of this, my friend, will drive Goring crazy, but Goring prefers to endure to some extent. Finally, the month passes. After the month has passed, Goring wakes up one day and finds himself in a new round, and this time he is in the 33rd round. He also finds Goring with him. By the way, there will be a woman in the cell named Emo Jerry, and you will know Emo Jerry herself and her dog, whose name is Ramses II, whom she decided to bring here. And she says that Emo Jerry Aljorn means that she knows he chose to come to prison with a book. So he sold Goring and Burks for a while with Emo Jerry and wrote that he knows her well. So by thinking about the past, we see Goring coming one day to propose that he go to prison for Cotter to get the diploma. Like we said, the idea is that the one I interviewed for Cater to go to prison was Emo Jerry. And that's what makes him. Jorn is now surprised and asks her how she got into prison. They know that she got into it of her own free will because she wants to try to be fair between everything prisoners in prison because the prison system is very good. But it needs organization, and Goring knows it. This is a dirty prison. And the biggest evidence of this is that they imprison children. So Amy and Jerry are surprised and know that it is impossible for a child to enter this prison. There was not a single child who had entered it before. At that time, Goring was surprised and knew that either Emo Jerry was lying to him now, or Miharu was looking for him. Her daughter was lying. Anyway, after that, she went down to the platform to eat. And then she ate Emo Jerry. That's enough for her. And then she starts making 2 plates of food. And then when the platform moves, she says, "Yes, Jerry?" to the poor people in. The floor below them is for them to eat only the 2 dishes you made, and not eat more than that, so that the floors below them can eat. They also make 2 layers for the floors below them. And the floors below them make the same 2 layers, and so on and so on. Of course, no one. He listens to Ao Jerry's words at all, and they keep cursing. But Emo Jerry is not good and keeps doing the same 2 dishes every day and trying to convince the prisoners only eat these 2 dishes. But unfortunately, no one listens to them. And on the 15th day, Goring will be completely at home with the prisoners below him know that if they don't listen to emojis and just eat their portion, he will take a bath on all the food and won't leave them alone. They eat something, so of course they listen to everything he says and eat their portions only. And at this moment, Goring Emo Jerry knows that this is his system. The strong prison and those in the upper floors are the ones who can impose their control under them. But this atmosphere of social inclusion and equality is not. She is here at the time. And Emo Jerry is shocked by Goring's words, and she also believes in the prison system, which she thought was good and was deceived by. The important thing is the next day, she goes down to the platform as usual for the role of Emo, Jerry and George, and at that time they find Miharu on the platform, and she is injured. They quickly remove her from the platform and try to treat her. He then leaves them with them so that she can sleep here today and rest. And at night he wakes up Goring over the sound of a fight. So see what's wrong with Play M and Jerry fighting with Miharu because Miharu is crazy and killed Emo Jerry's dog, I called him, and he shocked Goring and tried to calm things down and the matter passed. The next day Miharu came down on the platform. It was completely normal, but something happened at that moment. Io Jerry spoke to Goring and told him that she knew Miharu very well, and before she went to prison, she was a musician and entered prison of her own free will. She had no children at all, and she had no children in prison at all. But what she's doing is just madness, nothing more. Emo Jerry Goring knows that she has cancer and will die very soon. So she decided in her last days she enters here to impose order in prison. But unfortunately, she was unable to do that and will die after being deceived all this time. But these days, my friend, until we reach the last day of the month. And on that day, Joran tells Limo Jerry to eat because they don't know tomorrow they will wake up in which role. But Jerry's mother has refused to eat at all for her since the day her dog Ramses II died. She does not eat at all in general at night. Goring sleeps, and when he wakes up, he finds himself in a new role. And this role is War 202. Of course, it will last a long time because no food will be served to him at all. But that is not the real shock. The real shock is that Goring finds Emo Jerry committing suicide. So he immediately sells out that she decided to commit suicide herself so he could eat her instead of killing her. He and his friend, this idea will drive her crazy. Joran will go really crazy and will keep seeing Tarma and Emo running like many fantasies in front of him. They will tell him he eats emojis, but Goring prefers to resist. And for many days he does not eat from the corpse. But with time, unfortunately, he weakens and hunger prevails. So he continues to eat from Emo Jerry's body. The days pass, and he finishes. This month, Goring finally wakes up one day and finds himself in a new role, and this role is the 6th role. Goring finds God's resolve in the cell here is a person named Bharat Bharat. So sir, his story is a story, by the way. Currently, for example, Goring knows that he brought a rope with him to the prison here so that he could use it and climb to the first floor of the prison at all. And currently he is saying goodbye. Bharat Gorin talks to the prisoners on the floor above him and asks them to help him get out of here. So they agree to his words, and they take the rope from him, and Bharat starts climbing the rope. But at the last moment they will fall, and he licks at the last moment and comes back again. Bharat is very upset, and it is clear that he still does not know the prison laws, which are that you do not ask anyone for anything from you because he will help you. The important thing is that Bharat keeps sitting as he is upset. But Goring keeps getting into fantasies and seeing Tarma and Emo Jerry as usual. Because of these fantasies, he has tremendous ideas. He is now talking to Bharat, and they know that they must distribute the food equally to everyone, those in prison. In this way, we'll send a message to the prison administration that they were able to organize themselves and everyone is equal. Despite the garbage system they are in, they put it up and encouraged Bharat to come up with this idea, and they decided to help Goring. And indeed, the next day when she comes, the platform for their turn. They now take Gorin and fig spices like this and make them as a weapon. Then they ride on the platform itself and start descending. There is a roll for a roll, and when they go down to the floor below them, which is the 7th floor, there will be spices that will distribute food rations to the residents of this floor. But Goring objects because these people eat every day, so it is normal, meaning they fast one day from eating. And in fact, they use Goring and violent spices with them and prevent them from eating. And they decide to do this dialogue with the residents of the first 50 floors, because this means that they eat every day, and therefore they will start distributing food from the beginning of the 51st floor. Therefore, in every floor they go down, they prevent any of the residents of the floor from eating until they go down to a specific floor like this. This role involves an old man who knows Bharat, and this man asks Bharat and Jolene why they do this. So they sell Bharat that they try to distribute food rations equally among everyone so that they can send a message to the prison administration. And the old man tells them that they are stupid. Instead of doing what they are doing, they can keep a special plate of food from the platform and have this plate returned to the prison administration. As long as he is like this, without anyone touching him literally, and thus he has received a message from the prison administration, which means a peaceful objection to their way of distributing food, because it is normal that the platform is empty at this time. Think about Goring and Bharat in the words of the old man and Leo seriously logical, so based on that, they kept a cake that looked nice and decided that they would not let anyone eat it at all. They reach the administration again, but they prefer to go down to the floors. And of course they enter into many conflicts and battles with the residents of each floor until they reach a certain role. And in this role they find Miharu fighting with 2 people, and one of them continues to feed on her to some extent. Unfortunately, he kills her in your house and goes down to fight with this man. As for Bharat, he fights with his colleague, and unfortunately the person who fights with Bharat he can leave him in his stomach with a serious injury. But despite that, Bharat succeeds in killing him. After that, Goring is still fighting with the prisoner. The second prisoner prefers to beat Goring and will kill him, but Bharat comes and finishes off this prisoner as well, takes Goring, and goes down on him. The platform is the same again. They keep going down and down until they reach the next floor, 333. So they thought that this was, by the way, the last floor, so they would get off the platform and keep the cake they had with them. But the idea remained. Oh, my friend said that at this time they find a little girl in this role, and this girl is Asian, and looks like Miharu. So they know Goring and Bharat that this Miharu's daughter, and Miharu was not lying at all or anything, and the prison certainly allowed many children like this girl. The important thing is that they gave. Now this girl is eating the cake, and in the meantime they find the platform coming down, so they sell it. They are not on the last floor or anything, and there are still other floors below them. The important thing is that Goring and Bharat are very tired, so we have a problem, and he is dreaming. Goring Bitima, Emo Jerry, and also Bharat, and they also say why the little girl is a girl. Miharu is the message, but Goring wakes up from sleep and discovers that Bharat died due to his injury. So I get upset with him, and he keeps crying. After that, the platform comes to Goring's floor. So I pop Goring and the child is on it, and they keep coming down. There are a lot of rolls until they reach the last roll, and here he imagines Goring Tarma. He tells him that he must let the child return to the administration alone, so Goring agrees with his words, and he gets off the platform, and the platform starts to come out. Secondly, she has the child, Miharu's daughter, to reach the prison administration, and this peaceful objection. Letter, she is also here now, my friend. After we saw Goring and what he did, let's go back a little. In the past, we see some things like this from a while ago. In the past, prison used to receive a group of new prisoners, and among these prisoners was a huge person named Zamyatin, who now says, the employee who works. He has the interview. If you say it, they brought him here because he was crazy and tried to burn them, and he knows the employee's time. He is very nervous and therefore does not want anyone to upset him in prison so that he does not have to burn anyone, and they know that his favorite food is pizza, and that this means that pizza must come to him every day to eat, and whoever causes misfortunes will go to prison. But his colleague in this cell, Bella, is a girl. Her name is Prem, and they are currently on the 24th floor. Anyway, on the first day, she goes down to their floor and finds Prem eating her food. What you love is that Zamtan has no pizza. Everyone has meat and vegetables on it, and all these things. At this time, there will be 2 prisoners on the floor. Above him, a man and a woman. The man named Rob talked to his colleague Han and apologized to him that his food was incomplete. But the problem is that the residents of one floor, 20, broke the rules and everything. From his pizza, Rob's Matan knows that this will not happen again. But now he will not be able to eat anything other than his pizza. For the sake of each class on the platform, it belongs to a specific person, and it is not useful for anyone to eat from the other's food. Because while the prison is going according to a certain system, my soul does not care when all of this is done, and there will be other food structures. So it is permissible for Rob to do this because if he did this, and he will have to kill him. At that moment, Prem enters and eats 2 times of her food, and the problem turns into this at night. They hear Zamatan and the symbol of Eid coming from the floor above them. So they put the W.A. Rob in what? So they sold Rob. Unfortunately, the tension was cut off from the 44th floor. The food is not distributed fairly from this floor, and Haj Samtan spent the night knowing that the food is not distributed fairly at all from the beginning of the 21st floor. So they sold it to God. They are trying to implement the system, and that is why tomorrow there will be prisoners from the 19th and 20th floors. They will go down to the platform, and the owners of the 21st floor will stand by themselves, and there are prisoners from the lower floors. By the way, they will go down to the platform, and all those who on the 44th floor, in order to control the system at this moment, Zamatan agrees to his words and walks away. The situation is like this. The next day they hear Tan and Prem screaming from above them. Music, music. With the word of the second prisoner, they fight and they also go down to the platform and keep hitting each other in the middle of all of this. It is time for Troop to try to remove all the food on the platform is in their bowl, but it doesn't catch up, and the temperature starts to rise, and it starts to burn. She also falls on the platform and burns, but as for Barm, she and Ruby continue to fight with the second prisoner, and he is able to control him. All this while he was standing and watching. Then Ruby was able to tie up the prisoner he was with and take he and his colleague who died for the role of Prem and Zamtan, and the platform is down to the rest of the roles, completely normal, and currently I am talking to everyone and getting to know them. In the past, there was someone imprisoned on the platform called the Maestro, and this Maestro was helping. All the people made a revolution called the Solidarity Revolution, and because of it, most of the prisoners continued to organize. Their food and food portions are distributed regularly. In the end, there is a group in prison who follow this Maestro, and Rob is one of them. Anyway, Rob tells them now that tomorrow he will take the prisoner who tied him up, and he will go down on the platform for any role that includes one of the chosen ones for the sake of they judge the prisoner who is with him. And the chosen ones, by the way, are the people who saw the Maestro and before him before that. At that time, Prem asked about this Maestro. Rob knows that no one knows exactly who he is, and no one knows if he is still living in prison here or has been released from it. But there is, at this time, by the way, Zaman intervenes and is not interested in all of this, and tells Rob that he wants to eat from his colleague who was burned because after. What happened is that he didn't know how to eat anything, but he refused completely and threw his colleague's body into the hole because he hadn't eaten from it at all for a long time, and we looked at him. The idea, my friend, is that when the body descends to the bottom of the hole, it literally becomes pieces. The welcome thing is that there are people at the bottom, not we see who exactly they are, but they take the remains of this body to eat them. And this introduces us to the idea that Rob's group is not really capable. They organize this food class as they claim. Anyway, the next day, you go down to the platform, and it will be on it Zamyatin and Prem ate, so they took their food. The idea, my friend, is that Rob takes a few meals like this and throws them away, so Zamyatin and Bim went crazy. They ask him why he does this. So I know from Rob that these are the meals of the people who died yesterday, and it is not right for them to leave them here and for someone else to eat them, because that is, the whole regime will be ruined and there will be prisoners who want to kill their other colleagues so that they can eat what they ate, and this cannot happen, and they know what is wrong. Now he will take the prisoner who is with him and go down and look for one of the chosen ones so that he can judge him and ask them to tell him that they are the ones tomorrow they have to throw away the meals of the people who died. And if they don't do that, there will be consequences, and God will leave it and go down to the platform in the days. Those who come after that start eating exactly the food specified for them every day and throw away the second food of the people who she died. But there were times when he would eat something like this or something like this from the food that was going to be thrown away. Other than that, no one pays attention, or that's what he thought. The important thing is that the days keep passing until they reach the last day of the month. And that's it. It means that tomorrow they will wake up in a completely different second round. And that is why they both remain awake and do not sleep. And you are now talking to Zamyatin asks what he was doing in the first place, or what he was doing in his life before he was imprisoned. So he sold it. There is a time when Yatan was a professor of sports purely, but because of an accounting issue that he did not know how to solve, he no longer believed in sports at all and left it by the way. This arithmetic problem is the square root of -1, and its value is supposed to be an imaginary number. But because it doesn't matter, he believes in imaginary numbers, a hero who believes in mathematics in the first place, and he stopped his work, but away from they both sleep laughing now. And the next day they wake up and feel like they're on the 181st floor. Of course, it's very, very frustrating that this is the case, Big. There is no food that will reach them, but the prisoners above them and those below them will follow Rob's group, and therefore they will talk with Zamtan and Prem. They know that Rob started a revolution against all the brothers and those who do not follow the regime. Food in prison ensures that the food reaches all prisoners in all roles at this moment. And they are happy because this way it can reach they have food. But my friend, the days keep passing and passing without any food coming down to them at once. They kept finding a human neck flying in the hole. So the prisoners who followed Rob kissed him, so he sold them the same thing, Rob. And the group started their image, and they started fighting over anyone who did not follow the regime. So unfortunately, Zamtan and Bryn also preferred just as they are silent, and the days still go by without any food. And because of that, by the way, he gets tired. The problem is that one day the prisoners on the floor above them talk to them, and they know that Robo and his group discovered that there was a prisoner on the 24th floor who was eating from the food of the prisoners who died. And this prisoner would be killed very soon. Of course, he would be dead. Prem knows that this prisoner is Zamtan himself. And because Zamtan is a coward, one day he wakes up, Prem finds him holding his passion and telling her that he will fall in love with himself and his soul will die because he will not be able to bear for anyone to kill him. And Zamtan Labam says that he wasn't a professor or anything, and he was lying about all of this, and because of his lying, he was here because he always lives in lies and imagination. Zim asks Prem to finish that when she leaves her. She goes to his children and tells them that he loved them. Zim finishes his words and burns himself in a scene. It is very strange that he falls into the hole, and the prisoners keep seeing him and search for his death. Because he was a traitor, no one gets upset with him at all except Reem. But the important thing is that the days pass, my friend. And one day Prem wakes up to find herself in a very new role. And this role is the 51st role. And it is with Prem, a strange girl is in the cell with her hand cut off. And because she thinks she is new, she keeps telling her the rules so she can follow them. And after a while from all of this, Majin, who is around Prem and her colleague, knows that there is a person on the 54th floor who is barbaric and causes a lot of problems. And that is why those on the 52nd and 53rd floors will go to him and give birth. And Prem will want to participate in this mission. But the prisoners tell her that this is forbidden because the law says that anyone who violates is supposed to be the people on the 2 floors. Above him, it's nothing more than that. So now Prem is not allowed to do anything at all. So Prem agrees to what they say against her will and overcomes the situation. The next day, when Remo pulls the stranger with her, they find someone's head flying into the hole. And the prisoners are talking to them now. And he knows that this is my father's hen. And this is one of the chosen ones who has returned again and is currently fighting all the traitors and killing. At this moment, when the stranger hears the name Tajam Babi, she gets very upset, but she doesn't say anything. After a while, she goes down to the stage for their role and says, "The strange thing about Prem is that they have to go down to the platform and present the savage on the 54th floor. So Prem actually stops and they go out. The platform that takes them down to the 52nd floor, and there are 2 people on this floor who ask Baram Al-Ghariba to come down from the platform, but they do not respond to them, and they decide that they will also go to the 54th round. So the 2 of them agreed and one of them rode on. The platform with Primo is strange. After that, the platform goes down to the next floor, and the 2 on that floor also go down to the platform with Prim, and everyone until they reach the 54th floor. And here your eyes only see the light, because in this floor there is the savage they are looking for, and the one who, without warning, hits someone in the leg and cuts off his neck, then continues to fight with everyone and kill everyone. And when the platform moves, he goes down to the 55th floor, and at that time, Primo, the stranger, goes down behind him. And by the way, this savage can hit someone from the 55th floor. He keeps hitting the stranger. But Prem doesn't keep quiet about him and follows up on the stranger, and she'll kill him. So this savage keeps tricking her into not doing anything. He knows that he had to eat more than his share because he needed food. Otherwise, he would die at that moment. This makes it difficult for the savage to go to Prem. So she doesn't do anything for him and lets him go down to the platform at night. So I sat with Baram on the stranger, and for your information, he was with them in the cell is a young man with autism who is asleep. Remember this young man a little because we need him. The important thing is that Al-Ghaiba spoke with Prem and told her that this Daj Babi is the chief chosen one and a crazy person, to the point that he was the one who cut off the stranger's hands and also killed one of her friends by tying her naked on the platform and leaving everyone, the residents, eat her meat while she is alive. And the strange thing is that my father's poultry did this because the strange thing is her friend saw a tired person. So they ate extra food, and Dajin did not accept this. So he did everything to them. But the strange thing is that her friend, before she died, was able to gouge out Dagan's eyes. And this made her Dajin is going crazy even more. And you know that the strange thing is that Dajin will get very close to what they did today. And this is of course because they disagreed orders and they went down to the 54th floor. And accordingly they must now escape. And the stranger says Laybeam said that they must go down to the platform until the last floor at all. And there they will be able to take advantage of the period of changing roles every month, and they run away. The important thing is that the stranger continues and says that they will save a dog from drowning, and then they will be able to escape. So Prem is surprised and does not understand what it's strange, but she decides to do this task with her until they escape. The next day it's time for the platform, and Bella is strong. Primo is strange. The platform is down and a person who is hiding the laws is tied to it. And he is bleeding a lot to die while he is being tortured. And of course he is a worker. There is someone who is definitely a domesticator in the kingdom, that is, a domesticator, and his followers were on the platform, and currently he remains. They go down to Primo's strange floor, and we see, my friend, that Dagan has something like this attached to his eye so that their eye does not appear to be gouged out in front. The important thing is that Dagan and his men are now controlling the strange Brahma. And Dagan decides to cut off their hands. But the lonely young man I said living in this role, Dagan knew that the stranger was telling Bim that they would run away. So Dagan became angry. They decide to cut off Prem's hand by tying her hands and letting the platform fall on her, and she is cut off. As for the stranger, her punishment will be harsh if he is a domesticated person. His men will pull out her clothes and tie them to the platform so that all the prison residents can eat from her while she is alive. Of course, Prem will see all of this. She goes crazy, but she can't do anything. After a while of all this, Prem wakes up and finds herself in a new role, which is the 71st role. And you know who you find. Reem is imprisoned, still new and fresh in this prison. Yes, our dear friend Trema. And yes, my friend Trema. Don't be surprised by this, because as it is, I told you that all the events we are currently talking about are in the past before Goring entered prison. Anyway, Bryn is talking now with Trema, and you know that she wants revenge and asks him to join her in the illness that she intends to cause to Dagan, so he agrees with Trema and sits down with Trema. He eats as much as he can and is not interested in any rules. After that, he puts Prem and Trim on the platform for the role below them, and Bella in this role are followers of Dagan. So Prem responds to them that they join her and make this crazy djinn easy, so they agreed, and he would clean up for Baram and ride with her on the platform, and every time she came down, Barim would visit underneath her, including the people in it, and so on, and so on. People already hate Dajin very much and his stupid controls, so he joins them, and among those who join Bim is the Savage himself, and there is a role, by the way. From these roles, she meets Prem, who has Bharat with her, and they ask him to also ride the platform with them and join them, but Bharat refuses, because he wants to climb the prison and go out for the first time. My friend Bharat has been trying to do this jungle thing for a long time. The important thing is that Primo is with her. They increase so much that they fill the platform, and accordingly, Prem is waiting, and everyone is in a role like this, and they know that Dagan, his men will definitely eat them and take revenge on them, but the idea here is that Dagan and his men go down to the platform and empty the food, because the platform reached the floor where Prem was, and everyone was completely empty. And one day Dagan came to everyone he followed him, and they sat on the floor above them. At that time, Dagan spoke to Prem and those with her and told them that he would throw away the food every day. There is nothing that will reach them until they become weak from hunger, and then he will follow him and finish them off with the utmost ease, and Dajin will know everything. The rebels who are with Prem, if they surrender without any resistance, nothing will be done to them, and no one will be defeated, except the rebellion that is Prem. Fida, my friend, the trait is very broken among Prem's followers, and many of them betray her and ride on the blowjob and leave. But there are also many others who continue with Prem, and at this time everyone keeps saying that if they stay here, they will die from hunger. But my friend has a solution when he suggests to them that they go down to the floors below and eat the people in them. They follow the trend anyway, and I mean, my friend, you almost started to feel that eating people is just a hobby for Tarma. Anyway, everyone is really listening. His words, and they read that he does this, but they go down to the floor below and eat what is in it, including Brother Rob. And while they were still there, everyone eats it. And from 2 jobs, Reem remembers her past. And she sees Reem, by the way, on the day she arrived at prison and met the employee who will determine will she go to prison or not. By the way, this employee was, of course, Ao Jerry, and it is important that she spoke with Prem. I know from Prem's words that Prem was working as a visual artist and that she made a sculpture of a dog like this, and this dog had sharp teeth in it. Her sculpture, and during this same period, Prem met a person who had a son and a daughter. One time he died because he hit Prem's sculpture, and unfortunately the sharp blades in the sculpture killed him, and Prem said that after that, her fiancé took the insurance package for her son's life, and she herself became famous from her point on. It was sold for a lot of money, and in fact, my friend, we do not know whether Prem and her fiancé meant it. They killed this boy because he was an insurance thief, and the matter was not a coincidence. But what we know now is that Prem wrote a lot from this moment. She went to prison of her own free will just to atone for her sin, but now the memories are over. In the past, we go back to the present time and see that Prem is tired that she was not one of the corpses like everyone else. But she does not care, and the next day they arrived with a poultry. Her men are with Prem and her men, and in moments a bloody battle begins in every way between everyone. A battle that is, to say the least, fierce, and they prefer everyone to kill each other with all slavery, and a woman who kills Tarma by mistake. A woman like that, he was with her in prison here, and he liked him, by the way, and that's what makes him very upset. As for Barm, The savages would come to her if she thought he was trying to kill her, but Term comes with a knife in her hand, so she is the one who kills him and gets rid of him. After a while, those present will die with Odd Trima, Prem, and Dagny. By the way, Dajan has serious injuries, so I will give him Prim, get rid of him, and get rid of his disgust, and that's it. What happened made Reem think of past memories and think that the stranger had told her before that if they wanted to escape from here, they have to pretend to be dead, because at the end of each month, there is a strange gas that spreads in the prison, and they get in people like this from the prison administration change their places, and at the same time take the bodies to get rid of them, and if they make themselves dead, they will be taken in the middle. These bodies can finally be taken out, so Reem tells her plan to throw them away and asks him to join her in the plan she intends to do. She does it, but he refuses, so she makes Prem herself dead, and on the promised day, people from the prison come and take Prem's body with the rest. The second bodies are moistened, and we see at this time, by the way, that the people who followed the prison literally completely eliminated the attraction in the prison and fly like this so that they move around it comfortably from one turn to another and so on. And the important thing after that is that we are in. At the same time, we see a place in the prison full of children, including the little girl, Miharu's daughter, whom you remember. Currently, a man from the prison comes and takes a child. He is one of these children, and he walks, and we know that these children are here because they are usually born here and remain imprisoned here without going out. The important thing is that the child they took is taken to a very low-level room in prison, and Burby Prem sees all of this and understands that the child, this will literally remain in this situation here until he grows up in prison here. In other words, this prison is not. None of him will ever leave. The important thing is that Prem goes to take this child and knocks to save him. So she waits until the people who continue to the prison, they get rid of the bodies, and after that, everything is finished and they walk. So she takes this child on the platform and keeps going down with him until she arrives, until the last turn. There you will find many people waiting for Reem, some of whom are dead, and here we know that these people are all dead, and Reem herself saw them because she is dead like them. The important thing is that everyone is currently telling Bim that their journey has ended here. She has to let this child go up to the platform alone, so Prem agrees, and goes down and goes up to the platform with this child above. But after a while he stays from each. This is my friend. We see Göring coming down with the little girl, Miharu's daughter, whom he saved if you remember. At that moment, Rima came to Göring and they found out that his journey is over, and the second one must let the child go out alone. And this means that Göring was also dead at that time and did not know how to go out. The little girl is on the platform or something. The important thing is that Göring actually got off the platform and the little girl came out. Göring then started circling here and there until he met Prem, and as soon as they met each other, they both knew each other very well. So Göring hugged Prem because she was so bad. And here we understand that Göring was probably the father of the dead child that Prem talked about. Mother Jerry, if you remember, met her, and that's why they got to know each other so well. Most likely the real reason for their imprisonment here is that they forget this child, and that's it, my friend. With this point, we know that in the end, nothing was solved and all the people were like Prem and Göring who came down. The roles below were dead and all of these were just hallucinations, and in the end they didn't even know. They saved this prison once and for all and the movie ends. And that's it. Peace.